Hey guys, so once upon a time had a few, I'm gonna say heartwarming and heartbreaking moments. So let me start with the Evil Queen's storyline here. So, as you guys know, she was a snake. She was turned into a snake by Gideon, and last episode she turned back into herself because she bit Robin because he had magic, or yeah, it's too much to explain there, but so anyway, she's planning to completely cut herself off from Regina, and she plans to kill her. And we actually learn why she actually doesn't like herself. And we go back to the past, back when Regina was the Evil Queen herself. She's just filled with rage, trying to find Snow White and kill her. And at one point, her father wants to help her, and so he brings her to a garden of some sort through a portal, and that is where they find Cupid's arrow. And what's interesting is that he was kind of trying to help her find her true love because earlier Tinkerbell showed up and pointed out that she didn't follow through going up to Robin Hood and finding true love. So her father wanted to help her, but Regina thought he was going to help her find a way to get revenge on Snow White. So she's mad about that. So she figures out a way to turn the arrow from a love-seeking arrow into a hate-seeking arrow, which means she'll be able to find Snow White much easier in this case. So she just did not want to. Anyway. So what happens is she uses a magic potion to turn the arrow, and it leads her back to her castle. And at first I'm thinking, oh, it's probably not going to be Snow White, is it? I actually didn't see this coming, though. It turns out it leads her to a mirror, and it shows herself. So she actually hates herself the most, which was actually really interesting, especially how they tie it into the present, which, let me get back to that. So Regina is trying to figure out a way to stop the Evil Queen. She thinks she's going to hurt New Robin. So the plan is to fight her. She doesn't really know what she's going to do exactly. But so when they get there, they confront each other. The Evil Queen uses the shears that are supposed to cut you off from your... I always forget the term, but it's just, it cuts you off from who you are in a sense. Like how Aladdin used them on himself to stop being the savior. So she uses the scissors, and they're completely separate. There's no going back, no fusing again. So they fight each other, and Regina ends up winning. And at one point she grabs the heart out of the Evil Queen's chest, and it seems like she's going to end her, because I was wondering if at that point she could. However, she actually chooses love over hate and gives the Evil Queen some of her love and takes some of the Evil Queen's evil, and it actually balanced it out really nicely for the two. So that was a really well written moment, because it was Regina choosing to love herself, because the Evil Queen is still technically her, it's still a part of her whether it's in her or not. So that was really, really beautiful. And it's a nice message too. Like, you should love yourself. You should always try to find a way to be a good person, but at the same time accept who you are. And it's a really nice sentiment. I'm glad that it went in that direction. So the Evil Queen, she's good now. And she apologizes to Snow and Henry, and it's almost kind of like a second chance of apology from the Evil Queen. And it was really nice. So Regina has Henry write, he can write stories in the book and he can transport people wherever. Since the Evil Queen's not technically a part of their story, he was able to transport her somewhere, and we didn't know at first. And she actually goes to, I'm guessing, the Dream Realm, because that's where New Robin is after she sent him back. And Regina actually has a second chance with Robin Hood, but in a different form. Her Evil Queen self gets that chance. And this goes back to a page that Regina found in season 4. It showed her and Robin together. So in a way, the page wasn't 100% wrong. But it was still like, I still wish Regina could have had a Robin, but I think she's accepted at this point that it's not going to happen. And unfortunately, we have to accept it too. But it was a nice way of sending that storyline off. In some form, Regina gets to be with Robin Hood. So, yeah, that was nice. So, to get to the heartbreak part of the episode, Hook is still dealing with the fact that he hasn't told Emma about what he did to David's father. And he actually talks to Captain Nemo at one point, who we saw a few episodes back. And Captain Nemo actually is really intelligent. He has all kinds of advice for Hook. Unfortunately, Hook doesn't listen to him. And at one point he has his memory in a dream catcher, which that was a nice nod to last season when they used dream catchers for their memories. So he was about to burn it, but Emma happened to walk in right as he was watching the memory. And she knows his secret now. She wasn't really mad about that part. She was mad about the fact that he didn't tell her, which is really annoying because he wanted to so badly. And he was going to, except Emma found the ring, and that it was just such a forced proposal in that moment. So I can't 100% be mad at Hook. But yeah, he should have told her instead of hiding it, continuing to hide it. But I understand where he's coming from. He's ashamed at that side of him that he had at one point, and he just really wanted to forget that. But at the same time, he definitely should have told Emma. And she points out, like, you should always come to me. You should know that that is what we should be doing. And she's tired of the secrets, and she gives the ring back. And she basically tells him, it's like, either you're in it or you're not. So I kind of have a hope now that since she gave the ring back, he's going to have a second chance at proposing eventually. But yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get a second chance to see a proposal that's actually nice and we don't have to worry about the fact that he's hiding a secret or anything. So yeah. So he goes back to Captain Nemo, and he's telling him that he wants to join him, and he feels like he's failed as this person that Emma thought he was, and that he thought he was. And he just kind of wants to be at, kind of like, find himself again in a sense. But that kind of means leaving Emma, and he's ready to do it, but then Snow comes along. She actually doesn't know that they fought. She thought that they were still engaged. And Snow's basically telling him about Regina and how villains do get a second chance. They can find happiness. They can have happy endings. So that kind of gets him thinking, and he realizes that he does want to go back to Emma. And he realizes that he does deserve to be happy, and Emma deserves to be happy, and so we think it's gonna end really happy, but unfortunately, right as Hook is telling Captain Nemo he's going back to Emma, they're in the submarine, Gideon shows up. We were wondering where he was all episode. That didn't mean I wanted to see him. So he's, planning to keep Hook and everybody down in the submarine, because Hook's obviously gonna find a way to stop Gideon from hurting Emma. So this is his way of keeping him away from his potential fight with Emma. So, unfortunately, Emma has no word from Hook, and she doesn't know what's going on. She thinks he's left, and it's really sad. She's looking out the window, and she's thinking, he chose not to come back. So that was the heartbreak of the episode. Just seeing how sad she was, and knowing that it's not because he didn't want to come back, it's because he can't come back right now. So, yeah. There's always something in one episode that's gonna break our hearts. Still not as sad as last season, though. That one really... I cried like 3 or 4 episodes last season. Ugh. They've been on quite a journey together. So hopefully in the next episode they'll find a way to resurface, and it looks like Aladdin, Jasmine, and Ariel are coming back. So that'll be exciting. Alright, oh, and I also wanted to point it out that, I liked the motif of the arrow, like Cupid's arrow. It's kind of another connection to Robin Hood, which I thought was really nice. So, I still wish Robin Hood could have been with Regina, but like I said, at least he's with some form of Regina in a sense, so I'm gonna leave it at that. As far as theories go, I don't really have any at the moment. I was wrong that Robin Hood and Evil Queen were gonna form an alliance. They did for like a short second, but that was it. So, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. If you guys have any theories, you can share them with me, or we'll just see what happens and hope for the best for Emma and Hook. As far as I know, things will be ending happily in the musical episode that's coming up soon. So, fingers crossed for that. Alright, guys. I will see you later. Have a good day. Bye.